So they decided to make some PvP changes for 10.1.5. A lot of people are actually a bit happy about it. Some people are actually happy about anything really, because we are deprived on actual PvP content, that now we are happy about the smallest thing ever. And they address the soul shuffle queues and try to change it with this change, which I think will not even have 1% of a better queue time because of that. Let me explain, but I'm going to talk about the change that they actually implemented, which again, I can't understand why people are actually happy about that, because this is something that if they ever wanted to do that, they should have done it 3 months ago, 4 months ago. I think this is the smallest change they could actually ever have put out for Soul Shuffle. But let me explain. Field Medic's hazard payout now contains a new item. So for people that do not know what it is the second box you get whenever you're winning or drawing. I would say as a healer you get a normal box, the box that everyone gets for DPS, and then you get the Field Medic's hazard, which is basically the healer box, and you can open it and you will get some silvers or golds. I think it's really minimal, and sometimes you will get a Medal of Honor. Now it will contain a Medal of Conquest. It is worded, again, I had to redo it because I think now I understand. It is worded as it is a guaranteed item inside that will give you a Medal of Conquest. So every time you're going to do a draw or a win, you will get a Medal of Conquest, which is bind on account, so you can send it to your DPS mains or DPS characters or other characters that awards 30 conquest on use. 30 conquest, mind you, is I think just a bit more than the first win of a skirmish, and less than first win of BGs, first win of RBGs, first win of everything, to be honest. So this is really little. It's 30. It's if you want to cap it out every week, I think the cap is 525 or something like that. I don't remember, because it has been a while. I didn't really cap because PvPs has been a bit slow, and the queue times and 2v2, 3v3, LFG system, whatever. So you will need 20 games, 20 wins, I would say 15 wins, because again, depends. 15 wins and or 15 draws, and you will get that amount of medal conquest, and you can then send it to your DPS mains. Again, what is the actual usefulness of that is very little. It's really, I think nobody will farm it for their DPSers. I think people that are actually telling themselves that they are going to do that on their healers that they do not appreciate, but they want to just gear out their DPS, are a bit delusional. Because again, if you play that amount of healing games, because again, you have to assume you have a 50% win rate or a 60% or a 40% win rate, you will not have that every single match. So it means that you will have at least the double of the games, or at least the triple of the games, for the amount of Medal of Conquest you need to actually cap out with your DPSs. So basically, you're turning into a healer main. It's a full-time day queue, I would say day grind, because that's the amount of games you will have to grind. And again, if you grind that amount of games, you're most likely just a healer main. And now you also will have more Medal of Honor drops, so the drop rate is a bit higher, so you will get more Medal of Honors, which you can also just send it to your accounts, characters and such. And their dev notes, which is, again, I'm very sad about it. We're adding additional healer incentives. This is something you should have done 3 months ago. If it's just the Medal of Conquest, by the way, because this is super minimal. Again, super minimal. It has needed to be 3 months ago. Now it feels like it is just a pity incentive. It's just an incentive just to call it an incentive, basically. To players queuing for Soul Shuffle, as we've seen a lot of great feedback. No, you don't, because that's not the feedback that we wanted. We wanted other things for healers. This is not what we wanted from the community, that queue times for non-healers roles are too long. And you decided to just put a bind on account 30 conquest on use item that you gain from drawing or winning? Updating the field medic hazard payout rewards is the first step we're taking to more social, more appealing, to make social more appealing for healer specialization, and we're going to keep an eye on how it plays out. No, not future patches. Come on, man. Look, this is the problem. You do not need to keep an eye. You know how it will play out. It will not play out how you think it should be played out. This is too minimal. It's if you're thinking you have to keep an eye and look for data, I'm going to give you data. It will not be even 2% faster for DPSs. It will just not make healers queue more healing games. It will just make healer players get a bit more incentivized, but it will not add more healers to the pool. It will have the same amount of healers or even less, because the more the patch goes on, the more time there is between patches, the more time there is between seasons, less players it will be and have at the end of the season. That's just logical. It starts there and it dwindles down to that position. It just is how it is. That's how patches are. You cannot have 100% engagement from A to Z on a season, so nobody expects that. But you cannot say that you want to keep an eye on how it plays out for future patches when we all know it will not help. It will not help. I'm actually ready to play healer because I'm tired of getting queues. I'm tired of like feeling bad of getting a 30-minute queue and then go 0-6 or 2-6 or 3-6 on a DPS. Like, it feels like a huge waste of time. And I'm ready to play healer now. I'm really ready to play healer now. And if I'm not liking healer, I'm gone to classic, man. That's how I feel right now. But anyways, in addition to potentially exploring additional gameplay and reward changes for healer specialization in social, no, I do not want potentially. Look, this word is stupid. Exploring, stupid. We do not want to have potentially exploring. We want you guys to explore right away. Do not go for potential. Just go right away. Do not think, oh, we're going to wait because the PvPers are so good and they are so brave and they are so loyal that they are going to stay through thick and thin. This is a slap. I'm not happy. A lot of people are like sending me like, oh, did you see the new incentives for 10.1.5? It's going to be good. They're finally listening to us. Guys, if this is listening to us, it's like me telling my son that I'm rewarding him for peeing in his pot because he's little. He's like 3 years old. And I'm giving him a cookie. That's literally a cookie. That's nothing, right? For him, it means the world. For us, it means the world, like a bit of attention. But out of it, like outside of the actual context and like reasoning it and listening and reading it multiple times, do you really think this will change anything? Are you going to say that DPSers are now going to say, oh, I'm going to play healer because I want to farm my Medal of Conquests to get my DPSers up to speed? Like, guys, you know that if you can find someone in 2s or in 3s, you will like gain that conquest like 10 times faster. It's not even like, if you're not enjoying healing and you're playing healer to get conquest, it will take even more time because you're obviously not that good as a healer. Because if you're not enjoying it, it's either you're very bad at healing or either you really do not like healing, which for me, it is the first part and the second part together. I'm not that good as a healer, but also I do not really enjoy healing. Do you really think I'm going to spend hours to farm and to get my gear for my DPSers while I could basically just do random BGs or epic BGs or skirmishes and do that daily and pretty much get the conquest I need by doing that? And it's basically the same amount of time or even less amount of time I'm going to spend than actually spend time on like specs I do not really like. I think I'm going to just do the dailies. I'm going to do the weeklies. I'm going to do daily wins every day because again, I'm not like a full-time player. I'm not going to play like 8 hours per day or 9 hours per day. So it's not like I'm going to do a daily and have plenty of time. That's not going to happen. And a lot of people are like in this situation. So they're going to spend their time, which is basically money. Time is money. Their time to actually farm something on something they do not like to do. And it will feel like a work if you really are doing it because of the Medal of Conquest. This is simply not enough. And again, this wording is very, very thoughtful because they really think about it. Huh? They're saying that it's the first step. So it is giving us hope that there is a second step. Making it more appealing for healer specialization. So they are going to try to make multiple steps to make it more appealing. And they're going to keep an eye on how it plays out for future patches. Future patches, when is it? Future patches, it could be 10.1.5, not even that, because this is a 10.1.5 like PTR node. It could be a 10.1.7, it could be 10.2, and they're going to say, 10.2, we have the solution for solo shuffle. We are in the midst of the expansion lifespan. We have literally already spent 3 seasons to hone our hopes for PvP, and the 4th season will come, and then there will be a new expansion where they have other problems to solve. No, it's way too late. The first seasons of an expansion is always the ones that are the most engaging, with the most players, with the most amount of bragging rights. At the end of the season, for season 3, season 4, it is not as interesting. There are less players. There are like less, I would say, inflation on CR and MMR and such, because there's just less players, and people are going to just leave. And every time, every single season, there is just lesser and lesser and lesser amount of players. And you are not going to tell me that currently, in this current state, it is worth to actually wait 30 minutes for a solo shuffle as a DPS. And is it worth for healers to actually play? No! Because you are not even rewarded with your MMR and CR for wins. If you are winning, you will win very little. If you're losing, you're punished very hard to keep you on the treadmill. Again, if you're like having a 100% win rate, yes, you will climb super fast. But most likely, healers are very close to 50% or 55% win rate. And whenever I'm saying 50% win rate, it means like a 3-6. 3-6 gives you no CR, nothing. So what does solo shuffle actually need to have more participation? Well, I'm not a fan of, but it would be good if we had like a PvP battle pass, first and foremost, just a battle pass that you cannot pay. Something like you had with the traders post, but now you can buy it, but whatever. You can buy like coins, or it will be possible to be bought. But I would like the PvP battle pass basically, and for healers, you get more rewards, or you have like a second track, which is the healing track, and you get like great healing titles, healing mounts, whatever. Right? It could be just recolors, I do not care, but it will have people actually farm it. A lot of PvEers are actually collectors, and I think a mount might help them come into PvP. I think personally, I do not really care about mounts. So again, maybe for glad mounts and such, that's quite cool, but I think like a mount is a normal mount. I'm not really going to be going out of my way to get that, but I guess some people will have and will do to get that. I just think right now they need to think a lot bigger outside of the box and not like keep it simple, like for example a Medal of Conquest Python account item, which again is going to be trivialized if they're going to come out with the conquest boxes that they're going to probably come out with 10.1.5 or 10.1.7. Yeah, I mean, if you want to have something changed, you need to change drastically. Again, a status quo is just not going to help or do anything. If you want change, you have to change. You cannot like provoke change with nothing. It's not going to happen. It needs some kind of chaos, and this is not giving chaos. It's giving just something that healers will appreciate, of course, but it will not like do anything to actually like alleviate the queue times, alleviate a lot of problems for healers, a lot of problems for DPSers. Again, I'm not saying that the healers do not have problems. I think they have huge problems with MMR and CR. I think the healers that are really truly healer mains and they are tired of solo shuffle is understandable, because the amount of MMR that they gain or the amount of MMR they lose for respectively winning or losing is ridiculous. So they need to change something on that aspect and not on the aspect of gaining boxes. What I would do is maybe like, again, make it possible that if you win, you gain a lot of CR. If you lose, you do lose a lot of CR, but make it like fluctuating, not something that they could play a whole day and nothing changed on their MMR, like positively or negatively. They need to have like something that is going to be addictive. And what is addictive? Seeing a plus 90 or seeing a minus 90, not a plus 20 and minus 30. That's not making anyone addicted. That's why League of Legends is super successful, because it is successful at giving incentives to win and having that dopamine factor where whenever you're seeing something that is going to improve your MMR or CR, it's going to give you satisfaction. And whenever you're losing, it will give you that, I want to re-queue to gain that back. As a DPS right now, if you're losing a 30-minute queue, you're down bad. Like, again, toxicity level will be higher because you're frustrated. Same for healers. Again, they have no queues, but the toxicity is also high because, again, they're queuing for something they know that they might lose again, or they lose more CR and they win like barely, like enough to actually break even. So again, they need to change something, and this is not the way. I do not care how many people can say that they are actually happy, because this is copium. Again, it feels like Stockholm syndrome. Like, again, it's not like a pat on the back that makes it everything okay. It's not okay. They're not listening by giving you that. They're not listening. They're just saying, look, we have no idea on what to do, so we're going to give you this. And it's super minimal. And then saying that they're actually like going to keep an eye for maybe then changes in future patches and potentially have other changes. Again, those wordings does mean nothing like in the reality of things. Potentially means also potentially no or nothing. And keeping an eye out means also like if we do not keep an eye out, they would not know, because there is no progression to that. I think something like a Trello, again, Trello is like a website or something that actually gives communication to players a bit more directly than a Blue Post, where they write their concerns or ongoing bugs or ongoing things. They could write like ongoing investigation for solo shuffle. Those are the plans that we're trying out on PTR or internal PTR, and those are going to come in, those are not going to come in. So again, a more direct source than just a Blue Post, which is again updated like once a week, and sometimes there is a PvP note or sometimes there is no PvP note. But anyways, I digress. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you love PvP content. Again, we're doing PvP content on World of Warcraft pretty much on every single version. Again, Wrath of the Lich King is a bit of an annoying thing because they kind of ruined it, but I'm going to make a video about that as well on my second channel. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, man. And people can like ping me and say, look, there are new changes, but those changes are not really helping, man. And that's if you're like thinking very logical and not really with emotions, where they talk with us with a bit of like a direct feeling. Because again, they said they changed something on the PTR for 10.1.5, which is in 2 weeks, so it's not even effective right now. It's not enough. Like you have to see the whole picture. If you see like the smallest detail that it changed, it's not going to be enough, and it is not enough, and we deserve more as a player base. We deserve more as PvP fans, which we are very loyal. Again, we are loyal because we do not have any other options. So they know that as well. It's not like we have a plethora of games of MMORPGs with a good PvP competitive scene where we have choices to make whenever we are playing. We are not like, it's not like a fighting game where you have choices between Street Fighter, Tekken 8, MK1, or it's not like you have FPS like Call of Duty or X Defiant or BRs between Apex Legends, Warzone 2. No, we only have World of Warcraft. So we're basically doomed. It's like a FIFA player basically doomed at playing FIFA because there is no other like IP giving you the competitivity or satisfaction of like again progressing. So we're a bit doomed, and they know that, and they are actually playing with our feet by doing such changes. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and we will catch each other very soon in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.